Okay, so
Right.
we'll turn it over to the Presido.
All right. So the agenda, the first part is just showing some of the completed items, like the thank you post. Ben, that was good for Dr. Khan, and the Boeing
Yeah,
post.
I just had a question. I apologize for not looking at it more in detail. But Ben, were you able to reference Boeing in the Facebook post?
Yes, I did.
Ah, beautiful. Good work on that. Great job.
Yes, yes.
All right. And let's see what else. In progress, the bank account.
Yeah,
Still,
the bank account we need to talk about. Salam, have you heard anything back regarding what we need to do?
Yes, so the bank account can be opened, but it has to be handled by the head office. Can people hear me?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so I got feedback from GT Bank
Hmm.
that said, because the directors are not in Ghana, they cannot, at their branch level, they cannot rely, they have instructed them not to rely on the power of attorney to establish accounts.
Okay.
However, if I could meet their head of risk management,
Hmm.
uh, they could do something about it. So I spoke, the lady connected me to talk to the woman. It was the woman I spoke to
Hmm.
at their head office. And she took me through some series of questioning and answering and all of that just to understand our operations and why we need the accounts, why
Uh-huh.
we cannot wait, and if we were not. So they actually had suspicion that because you people are not here, maybe I was just trying to establish the account for some fizzy, something fishy.
Uh-huh.
Yes. So we went through all of that, and she said she would like to meet me, and that I should come with uh, an introductory letter from our auditors. They call it a auditors reference,
Okay.
and
I'm sorry, the
and
auditor
that.
reference, can you explain that? Is that I don't understand.
So she said the auditors would just write that um, they are introducing Give Basic Needs to open an account with GT Bank,
Hmm.
and I even contacted an audit firm and they sent me a sample.
Ah,
Yes, I
great.
contacted an audit firm after the conversation
Ah,
and they sent me a sample. So I will just read it out. So it says, oh, okay, yeah. So they sent what they sent wasn't the reference letter. So the reference letter just says that the auditors is well informed of our operations and has reviewed our books and is authorizing the bank to establish an account in the name of Give Basic Needs, and
hmm.
that all the board of directors have agreed and approved of this decision, and the audit firm is also committed to managing our and auditing our accounts yearly to give the bank just to give the bank some assurance that um, we are not going to use the accounts for anything fishy. So I spoke to the I spoke to an audit firm
Uh-huh.
which told me that before they can issue that reference or that letter, we need to appoint them as auditors to give basic needs.
Hmm.
So they sent me a sample of appointment letter. That was what they sent, and I thought it was a sample of the reference letter. So they sent me a sample that says that we write to inform you that your firm has been appointed as a statutory auditor of our company or organization with specific reference to conduct statutory audit of the company. It is hereby resolved that, so they mention the name of the audit firm and their location, has been appointed as auditors of the organization to carry out statutory audits and to determine the state of affairs of the companies during the tenure of office as required by the Companies Act 2019 of Ghana. Yeah.
Okay.
So
So
yes, so this is
how
it.
well, go ahead.
Yes. So I think what we need to do next is I don't know whether it is me or the president who signs this letter, but here this particular letter they sent to me is the chief executive officer. So here is the president. So we need to appoint this audit firm, which is Messiah's Asson, as our auditors to give basic needs Ghana. Then they will now write the auditor's reference for us, and we can use that to open the bank account.
Okay, so my question is how much will this cost us to be audited
So
and them write the letter, and then also how much will it cost us on an annual basis for them to be auditors of our books?
so my experience usually, um, because we have our internal compliance, like we have our own CFO who prepares our accounts.
Yeah.
We will only call in on them to sign and endorse our accounts. So every year, for instance, the CFO prepares give basic needs accounts, and then the auditors just they stamp and sign the financial statements, and then we file that at the Ghana Revenue Authority. So, but usually, because we are an international organization, we want to do things the right way. But usually in Ghana here, hardly, though it's not the right thing to do, but hardly do people present their yearly audit statements because um, maybe because they want to avoid taxes or because the state is also not just strict on that. But what I know is that for them to sign um, an audit statement is between 500 to $1,000, depending on the statement.
Well, so this brings us to
And
an interest.
this is
Oh, go
done
ahead.
every year.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
and this is
think
done
that's
every financial year.
okay. And so I think so because we are a tax organization in the United States, uh, we have to file our taxes every year, and we pay a CPA and we pay an organization here in the U.S. to certify our nonprofit compliance. And so
Okay.
what I don't want to do is take on an additional expense of certifying in multiple countries. My question is, number one, why doesn't the bank just accept our IRS tax filings like everyone else in the world? And two, why is it that we would need a special compliance letter for each country? That it seems like excessive overhead. And I don't know, maybe we're getting to the point where the president and I just need to fly there and take care of this opening the bank account. I don't know. I'm just trying to figure out how to reduce costs annually. I'm 100% transparent. I have no problem with anyone looking at our books or asking questions or whatever. It doesn't matter to me because um, I know within the United States where we're organized, we are 100% compliant. All of our taxes are published, as Benny knows, on ProPublica and these other public entities that are evaluating nonprofits. We have statuses out there, and our tax filings for the last 4 years are on those sites. So I'm really not sure what to do on this, Salam. I'd like both of your input and the president's input on what this is, because every $1,000 that we pay in overhead means 1,000, 500 less tests that we can do for typhoid or malaria or whatever. So I'm trying not to get bogged down. And the last thing that I'll say is that I'd like input from Salifu, because we have a compliance officer, a compliance package that we pay for in the US, but we will be seeking grants out of Ghana. And so I'd like to know from Salifu if this type of compliance letter in Ghana and going through this additional $1,000 a year to file our taxes and have them certified by an external auditor in Ghana is going to help us get grants or will make no difference in getting grants. So I like to first ask the president for your input, and then we'll go around and get feedback from everyone.
Okay. Yeah, I agree with you. It just seems like, another thing or whatever. But then too, this is the first time we've ever had experience with opening a bank account in another country. So we kind of have to, I mean, that's kind of part of doing business internationally. But, and as far as us flying there, I don't think we would be able to do that till after the first of the year. So I don't know how much of a delay or if that's going to matter or anything. So,
Okay, let's go to Benny. Benny, what do you think about this? And if it was your organization, and you know everything that you know about Give Basic Needs, and what I've just mentioned, what thoughts do you have on this topic?
Yeah, so I would want to ask that with the with what the bank is requiring that we do, um, what if you are coming to do it, or what if anytime you are present in Ghana, would that process still happen? Is this like a replacement to create the account because the board of directors are not currently in the country?
Hmm.
And if that is so, and if then we could wait not to pass through that process. So when you come to Ghana and we have everything done through the bank, and that we wouldn't need to go through getting an audit firm to
I'm sorry, Benny. I think you cut out.
okay, yes. So my simple question just is, if would we still go through this process even in the case where the directors are in Ghana and they are going through the whole process? Will
Hmm.
the bank still require that we have an audit firm to sign these documents?
Yeah. Yeah, and that's my question, I guess, as well, Benny, is that, are they, there's something we say in the US, and it's probably true there too. I don't know, but it's called CYA, cover your ass. And is what this I'm thinking the bank is wanting to do is they're just trying to cover their ass so that they have all of their things in place, but this is completely unusual for them to request these things. And that's what I don't know, is if they're just trying to cover their ass by getting being able to blame someone else for opening the account, because they can then say, oh, well, we trusted the auditor, go sue the auditor. Or, well, I don't even know what ramifications there would be, but that's what I'm feeling like the bank is doing. And I think it goes to Benny's point, is that if I was standing there today, would I need these documents, or is this just a CYA thing where they just we'll just make them require this additional document, and we'll cover our ass, make sure that everything looks good, and then we'll open the bank account. So, but unfortunately, the downside to that is we spend a lot more money on overhead. You know, 1,000 here, 1,000 there, it's all adding up. And so now I'll turn it over to Salam. Thank you for that input, Benny. Turn it over to Salam to answer the questions as best he can and give his input as to what he thinks we should do.
So I think that is just the same thing in the US. However, now we are being required to get auditors reference, because so if we were to establish an account in the US and maybe the requirement was that we should get auditors reference, the company that you've appointed in the US could just issue the letter. So I think usually what international organizations do is that they appoint international audit firms. So for instance, KPMG and the likes that are almost in every country. So if, for instance, the auditors you have appointed in the US were, let's say, KPMG, then the preso could just send a request email to KPMG for a reference letter to establish Give Basic Needs Bank account here. I think it's for compliance for the banks to require that they get your auditor's reference and get your audit statements every year, because
And
in the event that maybe you use the account for some illegal transactions, the banks are going to be held responsible. And just like you said, they are also um, not going to assume that risk just for us.
right.
So
And
they may want,
oh, sorry.
yes, so they may want to require some of these things. Then secondly, remember when we were registering and when we spoke to the Ghana Revenue Authority, the IRS, we were told that we have some tax exemptions and all that. And I think every year we'll have to file with GRA to for those exemptions. Because just like I said, here, for instance, my company, the market, I hardly file my taxes. But when I needed tax clearance to do supply, I had to pay some penalties. But if you don't file, they may not come after you. So to be on the safer side, and for organizations, well-established organizations that don't want to be bothered, they would always file their bank statements every year. And the requirement here is that financial books, when you are filing them with the government institutions or the banks, they will always want them certified by a certified accountant. And those certified accountants are those who belong to the audit firms, the chartered accountants, and they will charge you a fee to satisfy your accounts for you, because they are supposed to have audited you anyway. But because they are not those who have audited you, they will charge you because they are satisfying it. And if the banks find um, anything wrong with the statements, they are going to reach out to them and say, you satisfied this company or this organization. We relied on them. So we relied on your professionalism, and now these problems are coming. And then because they've also not audited you and they just went ahead to satisfy it, they will now come back to you to see your ledgers, your transactions, and probably if you are not a well-structured or well-organized organization that have this information, they now have to sit down and cook it, like prepare it and make sure they can defend themselves. Otherwise, they'll get reported and their license may be taken from them. So
Sorry,
Salifu is a chartered accountant.
really quick. I want to clarify one thing: is that in the United States, there's no need to have even a certified public accountant for your organization to open any account, let alone an auditor. So there's different levels, right? So you have individuals who can prepare tax documents. Then you can have CPA, certified professional accountants, prepare your documents. And then you can have compliance and auditors. These three levels of assurance, if you will, in the financial process. We have chosen voluntarily to choose a CPA, and I'm not preparing the financials myself as a CFO. So we have a certified public accountant, and we have overall a compliance package that contains auditors. So we did all of that voluntarily. And why the bank in Ghana would require more scrutiny than the country in which we are organized in, which is the United States, makes no sense to me, because I have to file with the IRS here and they are looking for fraud. So now I'm paying for more people to make sure I'm not fraudulent. This kind of overhead, just be straight up, it pisses me off because it seems so wasteful. I don't need people to double, triple, quadruple check. I'm not doing anything wrong, and they shouldn't worry about it. If they worry about it, maybe we need to go to another bank. I don't know. I'm frustrated because we pay, like I said, 3,000 US already to have this compliance group in the US that does everything in the US to make sure we are 100% compliant, to make sure that when our documents are published and filed with the IRS, they are 100% correct. They literally sign the document to the IRS. I sign it as a CFO saying my portion is right, and they sign it saying that they filled out the forms correctly and that everything looks good. There is no compliance issue. So when we get into this bureaucracy, it it pisses me off. It seems like it's such a waste of money, and it makes me not want to do business there. I'll be honest, straight up.
And if that won't change, having to have the auditor and the letter and whatnot, that won't change if we are able to come there after the first year and open the account. Is that correct?
Yes. You would, for the auditor's reference letter to the bank for the opening of the accounts, that won't change, and we'll have to. So here in Ghana, when you are opening an account, when you are registering an organization or a company,
Which we've done.
yes, it is mandatory that you appoint an auditor to your company. So I'm just going to share Liberty Market Company with you, and you will see that when I was establishing, I had to appoint an auditor. And if you don't have an auditor that you know, an audit firm that you know, they would the registrar general would randomly select from their system. They have a pool of audit firms that they will assign to you. Now, when it comes to an international organization like Give Basic Needs, they will not they will not assign they will not assign an auditor to you automatically, because they have an assumption that probably you are working with an international audit firm already, or you would appoint by yourself an audit firm to work with. So that is the case here with the introductory letter, auditor's reference introductory letter. It will be a requirement. Then with this conversation about the annual filing of accounts, I wanted, if you could permit me, maybe I could get Salifu who is also a chartered accountant, to join this meeting right now and then maybe give some explanation as to why that is done, because that's also his practice.
Yeah.
Is that okay?
Yes, please.
Sure.
Okay, so let me share the meeting link with him and inform him. I don't know. I'm trying to ambush him, but it's evening, so I'm assuming he's home.
Yeah, okay, no problem.
Yeah. And today is a holiday too, so
Uh-huh.
let me call.
This is the document.
Salifu, I've sent you a link to our meeting. If you can join and then give us some explanation. Okay. Yeah, so I've shared my document with you. I'm trying to find the portion where they appointed auditors to me that I don't even know them. Uh, and then also with the account, so you see, for instance, Liberty Market, because it's a Ghanaian company, when I was opening the account, I just needed a board resolution letter that says that, oh, the board have decided that we want to open an account with um, Access Bank Ghana, and we want Salam to be the sole account holder or the sole signatory to the account. And they will rely on that and then open the account for you.
Benny, just for clarification, I mean, you can see these international nonprofit watchdogs like Politico looking at all of our statements and scrutinizing everything at the public level, correct? Based on the Wikipedia links that I've sent you. They literally have all of our tax documents. Every dollar that Abbie and I make, every dollar that each of you make is all specified in there.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing that is killing me is like how many people need to look and sign off to take their $500. Salifu, welcome. This is Kevin Calusi. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, hello everyone.
Hi,
Hello.
can you hear us okay?
Yeah, I can hear you okay.
Very
Great,
good.
great.
And I'm Abbie
Yes.
Calusi, the CEO. It's good to see you.
Oh, good. Same here, same here.
Yeah,
I think you guys have met
thank you.
Salifu before.
Yeah, I don't remember. It's been a couple
Okay,
years at least.
it was you and Danny when you and Danny was in Ghana in 2019.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I met a lot of people when I was there, but I apologize. It's good to see you now.
Yeah, same here, same here.
And thank you for
Yeah.
meeting with us on such short notice. We appreciate you.
Yes.
And so I think Salam, do you want to give the background or do you
Yes.
want me to?
Okay. Yes. So, Salifu,
Yes.
we are trying to establish a bank account with GT Bank. We spoke with Access Bank, which said Access Bank said outrightly they could not establish the account because the directors are not in Ghana. But I have the Presido's mandate. I have a power of attorney to um, represent the organization, and so GT Bank said they can open the account for us at their head office, but we'll need an introductory letter from um, an audit firm, from an external auditor. And the auditor or the audit firm is also saying that we have to appoint them as our auditors for before they would issue us the letter, the auditor's reference.
Yeah.
And so that's where we were. And then we're also talking about the auditors, our annual financial statements that we have to file,
Yeah.
and the auditors having to satisfy those statements and the cost associated. Um, Fortunately or unfortunately, I should say, we already have, Give Basic Needs is an international organization which already have auditors in the US.
Yes.
Yes, so we were just thinking that why do we need auditors here if we already have auditors in the US? And couldn't those auditors probably in the US give us this reference letter and satisfy our financial statements? Because internally we could prepare our annual financial statements, or maybe the auditors in the US are already doing that for us. So
Okay.
that's why I had to bring you into this meeting,
Yeah,
because
because
you are also an auditor.
so Salifu, so is what we're trying to prevent is additional unnecessary overhead. So we have a situation in the US where in the US we can open we are a nonprofit, what's called a 501c3 tax deferred private operating foundation in the US. And under those uh, IRS Internal Revenue Service requirements, we're required obviously to file taxes and report all of our income, report all of our project expenses, our wages for contractors, all of these things. And so we pay for a compliance package in the US that contains a certified public accountant in the US to prepare those tax documents for us. And those documents are certified and submitted to the Internal Revenue Service here and are acceptable. Now, what I don't understand is why I need another auditor in another country to in fact certify the same exact thing. Like I'm already doing that. It doesn't make sense to me. It seems like unnecessary overhead. And I know Salam is trying very hard to get this task done. And I know that there are hoops that have to be jumped through, and every country is different. I understand that. But I'm very frustrated with the fact that these additional annual expenses are eating into us helping the people of Ghana. And this is what's so frustrating for me is that every $1,000 that I take away and I give to someone to stamp and put their signature on something means I can buy, 500 less test kits. So it's very frustrating for me, and I'm trying to do what's best for the people of Ghana, but I feel like keep getting dinged with all of these fees for just trying to transact and do business in the country. And so I'm sure you can understand my frustration, but the reason that we brought you on is to help you try to help me at least personally. Maybe I'm the only one having a problem with this, but help me understand how this impacts us going forward, and also then tying it to how it impacts our grant writing for 2026, which you'll be an integrated part of.
Okay. All right. So thank you. I think I understand the background.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to ask a couple of questions. First of all, the entity that you want to use in operating here in Ghana is expected to be established like a separate entity from what you're already using in the US, right?
Because of the
I'm sorry.
Doing Business Act.
I so I'm sorry, I didn't understand the question. Could you try again?
Okay, so one, it's like what the activities that are happening here in Ghana is
Yes.
being run by a separate entity, right? It's just
So
that they are related to the entity that is in the US.
so this I'm going to have to defer to Salam to talk about because we have registered currently as we try to open the bank account. Salam, correct me if I'm wrong. As we try to open the bank account, we are registered as a separate entity in Ghana called Give Basic Needs. Once
Okay.
the CEO Abbie and myself come to Ghana, we will establish our residency. We will establish an
Work,
organization. An
work residency
organization.
permit.
Sorry.
Work and residency permit. Because you mentioned your residency, I'll just correcting it.
A work residency permit. Thank you, Salam. Once we do that, then we will file for an organization called the Kalusi Family Foundation. Now that is our parent, if you will. In your terms, it's parent, but in the U.S., it's called Doing Business As. So in the U.S., we're structured as the Kalusi Family Foundation, and then there's something called the Doing Business As, and that's Give Basic Needs, which means in our financial systems, in our legal terms, those two names are 100% interchangeable. They mean the exact same thing. In the country of Ghana, we have to register. We're currently registered as Give Basic Needs, but in the future, when we arrive, we will register the Kalusi Family Foundation as the parent, and then a subsequent child organization, if you will, as Give Basic Needs. And we operate in Ghana as Give Basic Needs. I hope that helps.
Okay. Yes. So
Okay, so let me just give Salifu some better understanding. So Salifu, what happens is that in the US, Give Basic Needs is a fiduciary organization for Kolosi Family Foundation. And in Ghana, we wanted to do the same thing, but we realized that Ghana, our laws don't allow for fiduciary organizations, but we can establish something like a group. So we registered Give Basic Needs at first, and then having realized that it can't be done that way, we wanted to register the Kolosi Family Foundation, which is equally registered in the US. And can you people hear me?
Yeah, you cut out just for 1 minute.
Okay, Salifu.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah,
Please.
and then put Give Basic Needs under the Kolosi Family Foundation. So, like he said, the Kolosi Family Foundation would be the parent organization for Give Basic Needs. The same structure in the US, but just that the only difference will be while in the US,
I think you cut
Salam.
out again. Salam.
Okay. But to some extent, I think I understand exactly what is going on. So I want to address the first issue in respect to we already have an existing auditor. Why don't we just use that auditor for the one here?
Yeah,
Okay,
excuse me,
so the way.
sorry, Salifu, could I just interrupt with one more note?
Okay, all right.
Is that so? What we want to do in Ghana is open the bank account under Give Basic Needs.
Yes.
The bank account will not be opened under the Kalusi Family Foundation. This will just be a group, as Salam described. So the name that we should be, I guess, referring to in Ghana is Give Basic Needs.
Okay. All right. So, now, the for an international company to be able to audit a company based in Ghana or registered in Ghana, that particular audit firm needs to have either a partner here in Ghana or in one way or other be registered here in Ghana, because you will need some license from the Institute of Chartered Accountants Ghana for you to be qualified as an auditor to be able to audit a firm here in Ghana. So an international company may find it difficult being able to audit a company operating here. So the big company like the Big Four, the Deloitte, the Ernst and Young, the PwC and Co. They have their firms registered here. So even though it's internationally recognized uh, firms, but their their operations here is more of like say a subsidiary here doing it on their behalf. So you see Deloitte Ghana, you can see Deloitte UK, you see PwC UK, and you can then see PwC Ghana. So they are registered in that form. Now, if for instance we are not trying to say they want to do a consolidation at the group level, the international company can audit the group level, but the international company will definitely also rely on the audited accounts of Ghana. So any company that's established here in Ghana must be audited by a firm that is licensed here in Ghana. And to be licensed here in Ghana, that means you needed to have been established here in Ghana. So I believe that the firm that's already auditing the mother company will not be able to audit give basic needs here in Ghana.
That's correct.
Because
They're not a large audit firm like the ones you referred to.
yes, yes. So I think we might have to go with the ones that are registered here in Ghana. And what is the reason why they must be audited? The reason is that as soon as you decide to go like establish more like a separate entity, whether an NGO or a corporation, you will need to be doing certain regulations. You need to fulfill the one. You need to file the accounts of the entity almost like every year. So you need to file it at the registrar general. That's where you register the entity, and you also need to file with the revenue authority. But you can't file them if they are not audited accounts. So they have to be signed up by an auditor before you go to file every single year. So in order to make things easier, I think predominantly we might have to go with the local audit firm that is responsible for reviewing all the financial information and documents. And beyond that, it also gives you comfort that activities within here are being reviewed. And thereon, you can also pass that audited financial statement to the audit firm that is already auditing you, the mother company, to have a look at what the auditors has been given or has given out. Now, the reason why sometimes banks require that auditors needs to write to them acknowledging that you are in good standing is just to avoid any entity coming in and registering and doing operations that are not legal. So the auditor is to give them confidence that in opening this bank account, we know these people and we know that they are going to do the right things, and we've reviewed their books and things. So I think that is why probably I think Salam mentioned that they requested that he gets an auditor's introductory letter. So basically, we can't have an international auditor who doesn't have a partner, or let me say a branch here in Ghana, audit financial activities here in Ghana.
Okay, thank you for clarifying that, and I think this directly feeds into your role as a grant writer, if you will. I think that's the title we've been talking about. I don't know if that's offensive or isn't high enough or low enough or whatever, but within the Give Basic Needs organization, we've been referring to you as our grant writer in Ghana. And then there'll be a grant coordinator position, someone on the ground in the office from Give Basic Needs that will be my mentee, and who will work to learn the organization and support the grant writing efforts in Ghana. Does that make sense to you, or do those terms make sense to you?
That is perfect. And one of the things, so the name, I don't mind. It can be anything, so long as we understand exactly what the responsibilities are, what I'm expected to execute. It doesn't matter. The title doesn't really.
Okay,
It
okay,
doesn't.
okay.
Yeah.
That's the way we are as well. But we just have to put some kind of title because we don't know what to call you other than Salifu.
Yes. Sir.
Okay, okay. So as the grant writer, now I want you to
Yes.
put your grant writer hat on and say
Yeah.
which. Okay, okay. So I want to give you just a really quick overview of what we're planning on doing in 2026 and how we plan on growing the organization.
So is this
Yeah.
better talked about in front of all the directors on Sunday? Are we going to repeat this information?
Yeah, it's
What
a
kind of?
good question. I want to repeat it just because it's directly related to the auditor.
Okay.
Thank you for that.
Yeah.
So, um, so is what I want to know is so as the grant writer, so this is how the organization hopes to grow in 26 is we want to essentially take the money that Salam has been receiving for projects and we want to
Yes.
use that to fund labor in
Okay.
in in that we will then use that labor to directly execute the grants that you write for us. Because
All right.
I know when we write grants, I do not have experience writing grants or receiving grants. It's all new to me. But
Okay.
so I'm looking to you for that expertise. But the idea that we have is that that let's say you pick out a $200,000 grant and the board of directors and the president, we refer to Abbie as the presido. So if you hear this,
Okay.
that's what we refer to as. So the presido, it confirms that the board has decided to go for this $200,000 grant. Is what we would like to do is we would like to apply for that, and if we receive that, we want to put those resources that were received from the grant, the 200,000,
Yeah.
into the what's required for the grant, but then we will supplement the labor required to execute.
Okay.
So does
Okay.
that kind of make sense? So it's kind of like the idea is, I mean, I'm going to be straight up. I mean, we're hoping that you're going to write $5 million worth of grants for us over the
I am
course of.
hopeful.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
am
So let's
hopeful.
hope, right? We're just hopeful, right? Let's just hope that let's just say
Yeah.
that because I know when you write grants, the problem is they don't want to fund labor. They want to fund the test kits. They want to fund the
Yeah.
vaccines. They want to fund whatever it is we're doing.
Yeah.
And so is what we're planning on doing is separating the organization from what it currently does. We've proven with our track record we know how to execute. Salam, Ben are amazing at execution and documentation and compliance. And so we've proven that. So is what we want to do is we want to receive those funds and then use our dollars that we would have done projects with to actually execute on those grants that we receive so that there's a
Yeah.
clean break between the labor that it takes to execute, which is funded by the organization today, and
Yeah.
the actual purchasing of test kits, purchasing of vaccines, all of those things.
Yeah. Great.
Does that
Great.
does that make sense and does that work in your world?
Yeah. Yes. It makes perfect sense, and to the extent that you are even willing to come in to make sure that because one is getting the grant, the other is making sure it is executed, and all the terms of the grants are being all the conditions are being satisfied,
Mm-hmm.
because beyond just getting the money, you are trying to also build credibility and making sure that the grant conditions are met. So
Yes.
if to the extent that we are having a conversation about you coming in halfway to take care of the labor in the implementation process, I think it's highly laudable, and
Good.
it is great. Yeah.
Good, good, good. I'm grateful for that you see that way. Now to my question about the auditor. So if we're going for $5 million in grants in 2026 alone, this is our hope. We just shoot big, right? I mean, not all goals are achievable, but we set the goal and we try. So let's say that with that as being our goal, I would like you to recommend the auditor that is going to put us in the best light for our financials in Ghana when we go to write these grants. So let's say the World Health Organization has a $100,000 grant that we decide to go for, one of many. If they do that, I want our books to be audited by by the World Health Organization's highest ranking trusted auditor. And that's who should audit our books, because again, we're not building something temporary and we're moving beyond this. And if we're going to pay for it, I want the one that puts us in the best light when we try to execute these grants so that we can win these grants. So do you have any thoughts on that, or President?
Will that come at a different price if you're going?
It may.
Okay.
It may, but it might be something. I'd rather do that and have a higher probability of. And this is why I'm asking the question of Salifu. I want to make sure that this gives us an edge over other grant writers because of who's audited our books. We've already got videos. We've already got clear documentation for compliance, execution, etc. We can prove all of that, but we've never had anyone ask us to audit our books. So I want to make sure if we're going to pay for this, that it doesn't just bring value to opening a bank account. This better bring value beyond that, and it better be recognized when we go to write grants. Does that make sense, Salifu?
Yes, exactly. It does, and I it is highly recommendable the way you are seeing it, because the truth of the matter is that it is easier to access funding when your books are being audited by predominantly the big four, because they are well known and people place confidence in them. Any other audit firm, they might be thinking in one way or the other. But the point is that at the point of application, it depends on which entity we are using. If we are using the mother company, that means definitely we need to use the international, the one that's already auditing your people. If we are going for the basic needs, now, just like Presdo mentioned, to use any of the big four is extremely pricey. And to the extent that we are not really into business to generate profit, we are into, like they say, provide basic needs. So when we get ourselves in some of these things, sometimes it can end up not highly beneficial. So I can say that if it's basic needs that will be doing the application, and we're using any of the
I'm sorry, really quick, just to interrupt. Salam, can you confirm that it will be give basic needs?
Yes, I think we'll use give basic needs for the application because that's what we operate with in Ghana.
Yeah. So when we apply for, Salifu, so that's more information for you. So when we do the application, it will be as give basic needs, not as a Calusi Family Foundation. So it will not be at the parent level. It would just be give basic needs, which in the US, it's the same thing. In Ghana, there's this parent hierarchy. So in knowing now that we're going to issue the grants or request grant funding under the organization Give Basic Needs, please continue your conversation.
Okay, I think from the onset, we might have to use the lower firms, and even Ghana here, according to that association, we have the auditors being arranged in grades. We'll look for an average grade, so that one of the firms that we can manage based on the funding that we have for the meantime, because if we want to go into this Deloitte and other things, it might be difficult for us to manage them and contain them for a year. And nonetheless, the activities of 2026 will also tell whether we have the muscles to accommodate them going forward or not. Um, if you are having funding to the tune of 5 million USD, then maybe definitely you should be able to accommodate them. But if it's in the hundreds of thousands, then it is okay. We manage the people in here. And there is a way you present your financial statement that when someone reviews it, it knows that it's done well by the one who did the compilation as well as the one who did the auditing. So, which, and to some extent, I don't know if Salam mentioned, I am also into that field. I'm a chartered accountant, so I've definitely, and beyond that, even applying for the grant, it is that there are parts of information that we need during the application process. And any financial information that would jeopardize the grant application, definitely we'll make sure that it is done right before it is submitted.
Okay, great. So is what I hear you is I just want to repeat what I hear you saying is I hear you saying that look, if we're going to go after the big dollars, the millions, we're going to need to go with a big auditing firm. However,
Yeah.
right now we haven't proven ourselves in the grant space, and it's probably better to pick someone in the middle of the road than to pick one of these high top dollar ones at this point in time. Is that what I hear you saying?
Exactly so.
Okay, great. And then so I think is what I'd like to do from the CFO's perspective, and the president can confirm or deny whether she thinks this is good. Um, Salam, you should go with whomever Salifu recommends for the auditor. Just and then we will pay that fee. And if it's 1,000 or 500, obviously we try to negotiate at every position, as you do really well, Salam. So this position would be no different. So, but whoever Salifu says we should go for, because I think the thing to keep in mind is the reason we're getting the audit is not for the bank account any longer. The reason we're getting the audit is to be successful at grant writing. And so
Yes.
that's why we want you, Salam, to defer to whomever Salifu thinks is an auditor that he's been successful with, that he knows of, that is local, not one of the big 4 or 5, and we will go with them. Does that sound good? First of all, to you, Salifu?
Yeah, that sounds good. That sounds good.
Okay, and how about
That sounds good.
okay, President?
Sounds good to me.
And Salam, how do you feel about this?
Yeah, that's okay.
It
That's
works.
okay.
It works with you,
I've,
okay?
I've, I've been consulted. I've been so during the registration process, talking to GRA and you know answering our questions on financial matters and all of that. I've been consulting Salifu for free, so I would rely on his recommendation.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. We appreciate you, Salifu.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. And I want to drop over to Ben really quick. Ben, as someone who's in charge of compliance and things, and obviously has a say in operations in Ghana, what are your thoughts? Do you have anything that's different, or you agree, or did we miss something?
Yeah, so I think this has been well explained, and the need for us to have the auditor go through our books, not just for the bank, but also with what we are planning to do in terms of the grant writing. So I agree with everything. Yeah.
Great. Thank you for
Perfect.
that. Okay, so Salam, I think is what we've decided is that you will proceed. Correct me if I'm wrong, President.
Hmm.
That Salam will proceed with opening the bank account because that still needs to be done first under Give Basic Needs with the auditor that Salifu is recommending to leverage our grant positions And you can do that with the power of attorney and these audit that is going to be recommended. And Salam, you will create a purchase. First, please shoot me a number from the auditor that you're going to go with to get these documents opened and audited, so they don't surprise us. And then once you do, you can create a purchase invoice and I'll pay.
Okay.
Great.
So
And
I would also, once we settle on one, I would draft an appointment letter, and Presdo can go through and confirm before I submit it.
yeah, yeah, I think that's good. And then also, Salam, I wish we were closer together because I would like to. I will. I don't know what you will need me to provide from a financial standpoint regarding our audit.
The appointment letter. No, I think with the, so first we will just have to appoint them
Uh-huh.
we'll just have to appoint them to be our auditors, and then they will write an acceptance letter back to us, and I'll let the president have that. We'll also file it here,
Uh-huh.
and so officially they will officially be our auditors. Then if for the grant purposes we might want them to, since, so maybe Salifu can come in here. Salifu, since we want to start writing for grants 2026, and you are suggesting that um, at a point we will need these statements, the audited statements, um, uh, to support the grant application. If that be, does it mean that we will have them maybe um, give us an audit statement of our 2025 performance or something?
Okay, so we are going to have probably a further conversation. I'll usually to be able to prove a point that you've been in the system for some time,
Okay.
at least 3 years financial statements speaks a lot of volumes. It shows track record and how you perform by far.
Okay. So
What?
let me, just for
Well,
you, before you continue, I also want to come in. So Salifu, currently, I think um, the CFO have information on all our transactions and in Ghana,
Yeah.
and um, like we are discussing now, we are now establishing a bank account here in Ghana officially. So I just want to let you know that also we've also been receiving and making payments through crypto USDC.
Mm-hmm.
Just so you know, and then advice, if maybe in the process of preparing this account, you will not be requiring that we pull up a bank statement, because we are now setting up a bank account. And also, if you need financials, I'm sure maybe the CFO can provide you some financials with regards to our operations in Ghana for the past 3 years, as you are recommending.
Yeah.
I just want to provide this information before you proceed.
okay.
Selfish children is worrying.
Well, it's
My
okay. It's
children.
okay. It's
That's
okay.
why I had to put myself on mute and only come in when I have to come in.
That's
It's
okay. We have 3 children of our own. We know what it's like. It's okay.
yeah. So what? So first of all, the auditor probably might not do the compilation of the accounts, which to some extent we will have to do it. Now, at the end of the day, the grant will definitely have its requirements as to what it needs. But what thing we are do confident is that they might definitely need the financial information. So what I can suggest is that information that starts from 2023, 2024, 2025, maybe halfway 2025, we can work with it and put it together so that we can compile a statement and get them to to look at it, review it, and sign off, so that we can put it down once we wait for the grant applications to start.
Yeah,
So
and I think for that, all I need as the CFO, all I need is a list of what you want. Like if it's our tax records that talks about our assets or wages, whatever you need. I obviously have filed taxes for the last 4 years, and the year is coming to a close here at our fiscal year closes December 31st of at the end of the year. And so I'll be wrapping up my books again here, but we can clearly go back as long as we need to, and I can gather that information that you need. My problem is I just don't know what you need. I'm happy to get it for you.
okay, so a little consultation, we'll be able to put out all the list of information that will be needed to compile accounts for this year.
Okay.
And we can put that together and then get Salam to share it with you.
Okay, great. Great. So I think we're set. I think we know what we're going to do with the bank account. We're going to open it with the recommendation of the audit firm that Salifu is going to recommend, and then we'll begin gathering documents to support that audit because that audit will be needed prior to 2026. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay, great. And Salam, you agree and understand?
Yes, I do understand.
Okay, great. So, Salam, if you want to do a bulleted list or something of documents that you want or a sample, ideally the easiest thing for me to do, if you want, like, how you did like the 5-year plan, which was a projection. If you can give
Yeah.
me, or Salifu can give me a document that is already been done by another company, for example, like, oh, here's a here's an audit that this company did, and here's the information they provided, then I can go through and just gather all of that information right for you in the same formatted document and either give it back for you to manipulate or take more advice on how I should manipulate it to make it correct for the auditors.
Okay.
Great.
Yeah. I'll work with Salifu and get that, maybe a document like that to you.
Yeah, an example is always best because I can just switch things out and I know exactly what's acceptable. That's why I think it's so important to have Salifu here to understand that we want to do the things that he's already been successful with. We don't want to reinvent the wheel with a new auditor or a different type of document format or something. If he's got things that work, then if he can provide us examples of those, maybe just blacking out the title of the company if he needs to, or just sharing it, then I can create the same type of document with our numbers and our context as needed.
Okay.
Great. Great. Well, I think we can let Salifu go.
Yeah, just real quick, will you be able to join us at this Sunday's meeting with the board and everyone, Salifu?
Yes, I've confirmed that with Salam. I'll be
Okay.
there.
Perfect. All
Great.
right, great. Well, we appreciate you popping on to the call on a short notice, and we look forward to the continued conversation on Sunday.
Yeah, and thank you for all of your effort. We really appreciate you.
Definitely.
The pleasure is mine. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Salam, I know you have your class, correct?
No, today I don't have a class. The public holiday it's Farmers Day for us.
Ah,
Oh,
okay,
yes, that's
okay,
right.
good,
Sorry.
good.
All right,
So
next.
while Salifu is gone, just want to make sure, really quick, check in. I'm comfortable. President, you have more questions? Benny, do you have any input or thoughts on what we discussed? Concerns?
No, I think I'm okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
and Salam, you as well?
No, I think I got some more clarification that maybe I probably never got, because I really have not had any little discussion with Salifu regarding the grants, and then um, just like I said, I have a company, all right, but myself, I haven't been doing this auditing thing, so
Yeah.
it was all new to me, and I think I'm okay with the information I've received so far.
Good. I think
Excellent.
that my biggest concern, honestly, right now is not opening the bank account with the right auditor, but is to pay an auditor to get the bank account open, and then for Solid Food to say, "Oh, I wish you would have went with this auditor because now it's going to help us get a grant." We need to go with that auditor right off the bat because we'll just waste more money.
Yeah, so I think, like you said, I'm going to message him and wait
Hmm.
for feedback from him as to which auditor to go with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very good. There was a very productive discussion. And I don't feel bad investing in an auditor for grant writing. I don't want to invest in an auditor for opening a bank account to do business. If we're getting, because at the end of the day, the grant's going to bring revenue in. So that's an investment.
Yeah.
The other is overhead, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, great.
Good.
Do we have more topics or are we?
The medical data entry, I know that was pending until after Project 75 was completed. So just update on Project 31 and 42.
I think 42 is entered.
Great.
It's
Okay.
left with it's left with 31. Ben, right? I think so, yeah. If I get it.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yes,
So we just have 31 then, is that correct?
Yes.
yes, that's correct.
Okay, great. Nice work. Thanks for that.
Awesome. Let's see. Residency permits in progress. Contact identified in ACRA. Processing time confirmed to a week. Okay.
And Salam, just so you know, as of right now, the President and I are planning on staying some additional time in Ghana after we travel in April, just so that we can make
Okay.
sure that things are nice and tidy before we take the big journey back to the U.S. So we don't know the exact dates yet, but we will be there probably beyond the 10 days.
Luke and his girlfriend
That would
Haley.
be good.
Yeah.
Good, good. Luke and his
Yeah.
girlfriend Haley will have to travel back, but Kevin and I can stay, and the other Thierry family that's coming, they'll probably have to go back
Yeah, they'll
too.
go back as well. So
But
it'll
we can.
probably just be Abbie and I
Mhm.
who stay on. And then, Salam, we'll talk about, we don't want to inconvenience you and stay at your house too much. So maybe we'll figure out what we do on the housing in the coming weeks.
Okay. I think it's a good idea if maybe you can stay for a week more or maybe a couple of days more, so that because if you look at the itinerary we already prepared,
Yeah.
Salifu wasn't yet, so we can have some meeting. I mean, in person with Salifu.
Yeah.
Um, by then, probably if we are already on some grant writing path, or we are whatever clarifications, then
Yeah.
we can build that relationship. I know he Salifu also have some good relationships, because they are young auditors, and they are also starting their own audit firm. So he has other tax uh, experts, he has other proposal writers in his team.
Hmm.
So I believe that when you are in Ghana and we actually have a deep conversation, we can onboard Salifu to really understand the social impact part of these works we are going to do,
Yeah.
and he can also be able to recruit some more brains that we would want. I believe that with the right resources, Give Basic Needs can get all the good grants that the other international organizations are getting, because we have the track record to show.
Yeah.
Um, I was just telling Ben last week that someone who had gone through our page on Facebook reached out to me. He's a country director for Sen Ghana.
Hmm.
He reached out to me and said, if I mean, we are doing excellent, and he thinks that if we put ourselves together properly, we should be able to get some grants and do a lot more. So I
Great.
think if you stay for a couple of days more, it will be beneficial, and we can have deeper discussions.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's key is to just have some more time outside of the travel, to, like you said, have some deeper conversations, whether that's you personally with Salifu, with Ben, other people that we might be onboarding, the grant coordinator. Some of those would definitely be beneficial. Do you, Salam, now, just really quick, in that model, do you, we don't want to impose and stay with you if that will make your life uncomfortable, but it might make it more comfortable if we don't have to travel to pick me up or pick the residue up or daily or whatever we have to do. So think about if you want us to stay that additional time at your house, or if you would rather us just get a hotel that's nearby. It doesn't matter. It's just a matter of your preference.
Okay, I'll get that sorted. I'm doing some little innovation renovation works.
Uh-huh.
Uh, yes, but because I tried establishing a rice mill in the house,
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
that that caused some little damages, and
I see.
I've put that on hold, and I'm
Uh-huh.
just trying to put it back in shape. So yeah, like
Okay.
you said, I will work on things, and hopefully next week I should be able to give you. Okay, next week I would have to go to Accra to for this account process,
Mm-hmm.
because mind you, now the branch says I have to do it at their headquarters.
Right.
Yes,
Okay.
so
And so
maybe
that'll
after
be
that.
okay. Yeah, yeah. Just let us know what's going to work with you. And then yeah, just let us know what's going to work for you so that we can plan if that's going to be in a hotel nearby or if you'd rather have us in our. We don't need everything to be perfect, as you know. I mean, we live in a van. So we don't expect luxury at all points in our life. So it's very simple. So don't worry if things aren't perfect. That's not what we're saying. We're just saying we don't want to inconvenience you and your family and what's going on in your life with business.
That's okay.
Okay, great. So what
Okay.
else do we have?
Let's see, just trying to see if we can wrap up the budgets. I think we can cover at a different
Yeah, the
Sunday meeting.
budgets. Yeah, the budgets. Will you be talking about them in Sunday's meeting? I know Benny's is done. Salam, have you had time with your illness to figure out the budget for the office and the budget for the projects?
Yes, I have the budget for the office. It's just for the projects that I haven't finished. And with that, I wanted to find out if we intend to have, because we are going to start this grant writing, do we intend to have a project in January? And also, um, 2025, we did a grand opening of the year with a grand medical event in a community in January. So I wanted to find out, because you also be coming next year, and we intend to do a community-based program.
Hmm.
So would would our January event be a big event, just like we did January 2025? And um, also, you are coming in April, which will be second quarter of the year. And the plan has been that if we do a medical event, maybe in the first month of the first, we can do medical events first month of every quarter. So April is going to be um, the first month of the second quarter.
Hmm.
So I also want to find out your schedule, and if you will come maybe from the first to second week of April, then in in drawing my budget, I could plan a health event, a community-based health event for January, and a community-based health event for April, which you will be in Ghana.
Hmm. Yeah, and I think on this, correct me if I'm wrong, is that just because so we didn't get to ask Salifu what his time frame was on getting actual dollars from quote unquote writing grants in 2026. If he thinks that those dollars would show up in the third quarter, the fourth quarter, maybe not for 2 years. I don't know. Like, do you have any insight into that?
So it varies. I think some grants takes 3 months to close,
Okay.
and in 6 months should be you. I mean, you'll be awarded. Others takes, just like you said, a year. Others also takes 3 months. So it will also depend on the grants we identify. And I want to, yeah, while we may have a grant coordinator, I also want to add it to um, my activities to always scout or search for this form of grants. So I
Absolutely.
really cannot put a time on it, but I think that Salifu will be doing a lot, because I believe that we would have to get aggressive
Hmm.
looking for grants.
Yeah, and I think so. I think with that, I think personally the president can comment. So, just to be clear, in April, we'll actually do three events. We'll do the medical event while we're traveling, and per the itinerary, we'll do the medical event, we'll do a food event, the Jola feed, and then we'll do a mental health event in the schools.
Yeah,
And those are all in April. So I think April is full. We won't need to do anything else maybe in the second quarter beyond
in
those
the
three
second.
events.
Okay, yeah. So I think
So
those three events come for the second quarter.
yeah, and then and
So
so those will be in the second quarter, and then we'll need things in the first quarter, and that's what you're one of the things you're asking. And I would say that these should be not big events, maybe like
Pavilion?
yeah, we could do a pavilion, we could do a well. Let's do those two. Let's do a pavilion and a well in January.
Or first quarter?
Or first quarter.
okay,
And then so
okay,
we'll have so by the end of the second quarter we'll have five events done in Ghana. We'll do a medical testing event, a mental health event, a food event, a shelter event, and a well,
The
yeah,
borehole.
food. Yeah, the borehole being a food. Yeah. So that would give us five by the end of the second quarter. And the reason that I'm trying to hold back a little bit, Salam, is because I want to make sure we've got dry powder or firepower ready for when these grants come in. So if Salifu procures a $200,000 grant, I want and says that essentially Give Basic Needs is going to do the labor needed for that $200,000 execution of that grant. I want to make sure that I have money there for the labor because is what I see happening in Ghana in the future is Salifu writing the grant, the president approving the grant with the board to going after it, us obtaining the grant money, and then not necessarily executing our own giving events, but providing the labor and the resources that weren't covered in the grant to make it a success. Does that make
okay.
sense? Does that make sense?
Yeah, and so I just have one suggestion. I think for grant purposes, maybe we can let go the um the pavilion, and do maybe in place of that for first quarter, we can do a medical event as well, because I'm looking at things that will really um, get the attention of potential donors or people who will give us grants.
Uh-huh.
Yes, and I think medical preventive health is a big deal. There is
Yeah.
data that shows that preventive health is a big deal, and globally, people are interested because there has been a surge in, for instance, HIV infection rates.
Yeah.
I think I shared something like that last week,
Yeah, you
and
did.
hepatitis B, and these vaccines and all of that.
Hmm.
Then borehole, yeah, water is also something that globally people know that there's a global challenge. People are faced with potable water issues, so having a borehole too
Okay,
would
so
also be impactful.
so in quarter one of
Yeah,
26, let's target a borehole and maybe a $4,000 medical clinic event.
yeah. I think that's good.
And then in April, we will do another medical big event, maybe
Exactly.
like a $10,000 event that
Yeah,
in the remote village, et cetera, et cetera. Whatever looks really good to the grant writers and that.
yeah,
And maybe we should seek Salifu's opinion on this as well. Simply that we have the
yeah.
flexibility to execute to make it look good. If he's writing a grant for water, we should have put a water well in the year, right?
Exactly,
So
exactly.
so we should run this by him and say, does this look like, because I think again with the medical, I think the medical grants are going to be the most easy to get.
I kind of have the same feeling. I don't know why.
Yeah, I don't know why either, but the medical, either the prevention or the treatment. And so maybe the vaccines or whatever it might be, but I feel like we should be focusing on clean water and medical in Ghana. And then and so the second quarter, we have the big medical event when we're there with those who are traveling with us. We have the mental health event, and then we have the feed. And so I think that will give us 5 events by the end of, well, essentially by the end of April.
By the end of the second quarter,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay.
And so and actually, but they'll actually be by the end of April because our travels will have been done by April 20 something.
I believe so.
So if my question to Benny is, if we do those, does that give you enough material on the social media side if we're thinking about 5 events by the end of the second quarter?
Yes. So I think when the year ends, just like we did for this ending year, aside the projects we'll be executing, I'll sit down and look at other ways we can have some social media posts and not rely only on the projects, posting of the projects. So
Mm-hmm.
with the five, that means we already have two like that, two for each video and picture combined. Then we can come up with other ways of add. So I think it's good.
Okay, good. Yeah, and
I
that.
also think,
Oh, go ahead.
okay. I think that the bowl will even give us more than just two, because mind you, there's always the drilling part
Mm-hmm.
and there is the commit. So we can do the medical, maybe just maybe January, and then we can do the borehole in February. And because you have to drill and go back, I mean, do concrete work, go back and fix the pumps and all that, it takes time. So by March, maybe we can start with the borehole middle of April, and then it will extend into March, which we would have completed. Then April you'll be in, so we'll be in the news for almost every. I mean, we'll be in the news every month,
Hmm. Yeah,
and
I think
and then
that's a good
by
point.
April we'll be in.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. And Salam, you should work with Benny, and both of you should come up with that schedule that works best for the social media, etc. But I think the other thing, Benny, that I'm planning on doing is I'm planning on writing another research paper in the beginning of January.
Okay, sure.
So that will give us some posts as well. So I think that takes us to Q2 through Q2,
Mm-hmm.
and then by Q3, I'm hopeful there'll be some grant money coming in.
All right, sure.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
with that grant money coming in, let's say it's for 5 boreholes. Okay, great. Then Salam, here's my example. When Salifu writes the grant for the bore, let's just take a borehole example. 5 boreholes is what the grant is for, and we need to execute. Now, all of the cement and all of the drilling and the siting and all of that might be already covered in the grant proposal, right? We might have gotten money for all of that. But
Yes.
let's just say that your time wasn't included, and Benny's time to capture the video for compliance wasn't included, and the commencement travel wasn't included. I don't know if that'll be the case, but let's just say it isn't. So is what we would have is we'd have the money from the 5 boreholes that came from the grant. We will burn through all of that. And then for those 3 things that I mentioned, maybe the plaque, maybe 4 things, the plaque, we give basic needs, and maybe there's another plaque for who gave the grant. Maybe it's the World Health Organization, whatever. However, maybe the plaque, food, travel expenses, your time, Benny's time, etc. Those things don't get covered. Now is what I see give basic needs stepping in and paying those. And so
Okay.
and so give basic needs will supplement whatever the grant doesn't pay for.
Yeah, I think that's where Salifu was acknowledging you for
Mm-hmm.
coming in on that level, and that will actually also give some form of credibility and commitment to whoever or whichever organization would want to give us grants, because usually um, people who give grants would want to see that you also have some skin into what you are asking for.
Yeah,
So it's not like you're asking for everything to be done for you for free, so that it doesn't become like, okay, we just committed our own resources, do a number of projects for a number of years, and now we want to get grants to make profit, but we are still going to be committing some resources from the organization's level
right.
to make sure that the grant is actually executed.
Yeah. And so this is how we scale the organization, because now when we get the next 5 boreholes and Salam, you're too busy. Now we take your mentee and we put them in place and we pay their wages. And then, we're continuing to pay your wages, Salam, to do your thing, and we're continuing to pay Benny, but we're able to essentially use give basic need resources for the pieces that aren't covered in the grant, which is primarily going to be the labor to execute it.
Yeah.
And so this is how we grow into being able to execute $5 million a year in grants, is because to start is because we're able to scale up by bringing on your mentees and executing by paying them the same amount of money that we would have paid to execute projects, right? So
Yeah.
instead of Q4 3, doing another big medical event or Q4, we take that $10,000 and we execute a $500,000 grant with those resources.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now we've done essentially 550, 560, 501,000,
510.
thank you,
Yeah.
$510,000 projects and have only put 10,000 in.
Yeah.
And so we want it that this, it may not be that we put just 10,000 in. We might have had to put 30,000 in, but I'll gladly put 30,000 in to execute a $500,000 project.
Yeah.
Does that all make sense on how we plan on growing the organization into multi-million-dollar a year projects, or do projects, and receive grants for multiple millions of dollars a year?
Yeah, that makes absolute sense to me. I think last week I was having this same conversation with Ben as to how we scale and the people I think will begin to bring them in. And I think you just literally said whatever I told Ben last week.
Good,
Yeah.
good,
So,
good. And
yeah.
this is great. And the reason that this is powerful is that you've even said that is because the most difficult, I've said it before, I'll say it again, the most difficult thing we do in our organization is communicate. And so the fact that we're on the same page, the four of us, and we're bringing Salifu on, and we're bringing, we're bringing mentees on, and we're doing these things to get them on the same page. The more people we get this communication down as to what it is we're really trying to do, the easier it will be to do.
Yeah.
So I think that, like, for you for Q3 and Q4, I don't know that we'll execute based on your budget when that time comes, because I don't know what grants we'll potentially have received. We may need to realign, but you should just budget for them regardless, because those dollars will go towards labor or things that aren't covered in the grant, like food for the workers or what transportation or whatever.
Okay.
Does that all make sense?
Yes, yes.
Great. And Benny, do you have any questions on how we're planning on scaling and how it's important to bring Simone on and it's important to bring whoever else your mentees are to get this organization to grow, because we're only as good as our people.
Yeah. Yes. So I think it's been a great brainstorming today, and yeah. So with all that has come up, I think it's all great idea, and we are looking forward to a big 2026. Yeah.
Yes, yes, yes. We hope to, as we say in the US, knock it out of the park. Give me a billion, I'll make good use of it.
Yeah.
We will find the people and make it happen, right?
That's what
Yeah.
Presido like.
Yeah.
Presido wanted you to say, "Give me a trillion."
Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah.
No, no.
President says, settle down. We haven't done a million yet.
I
But
think I think you both know Kevin well enough by now that sometimes, he's going like this and I'm like, okay, just hold on.
yeah.
Just bring it back a little bit. Hold.
Well, that's good. That's
Yeah.
why we're a good team, right? We have to have those that are big thinkers and then
Yeah.
those that are doers, right? And we have to
Yeah.
know that while we put the goal out there, and we're not ashamed to say we didn't achieve it, but look at all that we
Mhm.
did instead. We put the
Yeah.
goal out there, and we do our best.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's always makes sense to dream and target big,
Yeah.
and
Yeah, there's no
that
point in dreaming
it's good to
small.
target the moon, target the sun or the moon. If you don't get the moon, you get the stars.
Yeah. Yeah, right. Right.
That's a good
Exactly.
one.
Exactly.
That is good. Well, I
Exactly.
think in the interest of time, I will go over just the next steps, action items. Let's see. We already checked with Salam and Salifu will be at Sunday's meeting. Salam present the preventative medicine cost spreadsheet.
Ah, yeah.
Let's see. Benny is compiling the year-end impact statistics.
Yeah, really quick, Benny, are you good on that? You have access, obviously, to Notebook LM, but do you have all the things that you need for the year-end wrap-up between the blog post and the financials that are in there?
Yes. So I've been looking through the what we have on notebook, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
generating some samples. So, but I'll make sure I send
Okay,
you one to be sure we are all on the same page, and it contains at least all that we want to be sent before the post is made.
great.
Perfect.
Great. And just so you
Yeah.
know, I haven't forgot about updating the map. I was talking to the president about this just yesterday. Not only
Okay.
not only is
Yeah.
it on my list, but I finally explained to the president why I haven't done it. And so I and she said you should explain that she said you should explain that to Benny. And so I take 1 minute now to do that. So
Okay.
the reason that I haven't done it, because I have to be accountable to you as well, just like you have to be accountable to me, is that I haven't done it because within WordPress, we use a plugin, right, to do the map. And so
Yeah.
within WordPress, the the map software that we use has a license key. And the license key says expired. And
Okay.
and is what I'm afraid of and why I've been postponing doing the update is I don't want to blow the whole thing up.
Yeah, sure. Because it
Because
wasn't easy coming up with it.
exactly. So I don't want to I don't that license key is a concern. At the end of the day, we just buy the license, right? That's the plan B. It's not a problem. The site is good. It all works. We just buy the license. But is what I'm afraid of is there could be the site down for a few days if I run into a real problem with the license key and the
Yeah.
process of doing the update. So it's not just doing the steps, it's the risk of the site being down and the map being down at a time that we're doing posts asking for donations like friends like Giving Tuesday and things like this. So I'm trying to balance this into a window where I'm physically in the mode where I'm ready to troubleshoot this for a couple of days if I need to, because the license key is expired, the data import has failed because of it, the data's gotten corrupt, the backup wasn't valid, on and on and on, right? So that's the real reason that I haven't done it. So I will do it. I'm going to do it. I just have to
Okay,
get
sir.
in the right I just have to get in the right state of mind.
All right, sure. That's
Okay.
fine.
Okay. So I'm working on it. Don't
Thank you
worry.
for the updates.
Yeah,
All
absolutely.
right.
Absolutely.
I'm sure as you
Absolutely.
noticed, like I was closing projects and stuff this week, then I was like, how
Yeah,
about the map
yeah,
stuff?
she was looking at
How
me
about the
like,
map
how
Yeah.
stuff?
about the map? How about the map? I'm like, it's making me nervous.
Like I really shouldn't be closing this project because the map date is not done, but I know you'll get around to it when
I'm
you're
gonna get to it.
comfortable.
I'm gonna get to it. I
Yeah.
got to get in a state of mind that I'm ready to do some tech stuff.
Okay.
And right now, I've been in the state of mind of just financial stuff, as you can see by the reports I've been generating out there.
Good.
Good.
Good. Okay. I think that's all that we need to cover right now. We'll just carry over these items either to Sunday or to next Friday's meeting, depending on how much time we have with Salifu on Sunday. So I don't have anything else, Kevin.
I don't have anything else.
All right, Salam, you might be muted.
No, I don't have anything else.
Okay,
Perfect.
great.
Thank you. Benny, how about you?
No, I don't have anything.
Okay,
Okay, great.
excellent. I appreciate you guys. Sorry this went a little bit long, but I think, bringing Salifu into the meeting today was excellent learning opportunity for all of us, definitely. So I appreciate you being able to do that, Salam. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, excellent. You all have a good evening, and we will talk with you soon. Thank you so much.
Okay, have a nice
All
day.
right. Have
Okay,
a great evening too.
thank you.
Thank
Bye
you. Bye
bye.
bye.
Bye.